Hi everyone, we are group 3. We are going to discuss a family story presentation today. First of all, let's talk about the uh, outline of the topics to be discussed. First of all, family structure, identification of family members, and then logical reasoning questions for the family, genogram and echo map of the family, therapeutic questions for family, psychosocial considerations, commendations for family, and at the end, family care plan. First of all, how about the family structure? The family is Brown's family and they have migrated since 2017 to Canada. They are living in rural community in the Midland, Ontario, and surrounded by a Jewish community. The family is originally from Israel community, so they are following Orthodox and practicing Jewish rituals. And the family is composed of four members. First of all, George Brown, who is 41 years old, father, and employed, and Casaloma Brown, 36-year-old, unemployed mother. Water Brown, who is 18 years old, and he's studying in senior high school. And then lastly, Campus Brown, who is 3 years old, daughter. First of all, George Brown. He's a decision maker of the family and in terms of the financial and the health problems. He has been working as an operator in a company and earns $4,000 a month, and he is going to be laid off next month, which is stressing him out. And he's also suffering from hypertension and diabetes mellitus, for which he's taking metformin every day, once 500 milligrams. When he's stressed out, he sometimes takes insulin as well. And then Casaloma Brown. She's 36-year-old mother and she's unemployed. She's suffering from depression since they have moved to Canada because she doesn't have a family here and friends, and she doesn't have any job. She's also stressed out because of the family situations, as her daughter is suffering from autism and her son is having a hard time getting in the university, and the father is suffering from diabetes, hypertension, and is also going to be laid off from his job. And now Water Brown. Currently he's going to senior high school. He wants to go to university within few months to pursue his dream in accountancy. He has started smoking as a habit with his friends and girlfriend, and his performance in study is also going down. Lastly, Campus Brown. She's 3 years old, suffering from autism, and she's undergoing the behavioral and communication therapies. She's also going to daycare center after a few months, which her mother is worried about because she's not like a normal kids. Next, focus of the care, where the focus lies in the family of care. All the members are suffering from some sort of problems, so everybody is supposed to be getting some kind of care. First of all, George Brown, he's having diabetes and hypertension. And Casaloma Brown, suffering from depression. Water Brown, he's having substance abuse and stress. And then Campus Brown, she's having autism. She also needs care. Now we have discussed about what kind of problems in the family. Next, what kind of support family is already getting. First of all, the family is getting support from the community services, and then Rabbi, church members are also helping them out. The parents, Casaloma Brown and George Brown, are getting help from Israel government. And the whole family is getting health care services through Ontario health insurance plan. And Campus Brown is getting help from the daycare, from school and the daycare services. So that was all about the supportive services for the family. And next, the logical clinical reasoning questions will be discussed by James.
These are the clinical reasoning questions to the family. Family problems started when they moved to Canada. They struggled financially and they started to become weak in terms of handling stress in their family. George, as a father, reacted about the situation and started to spend more time to look after his family. Family decided to ask help to the Jewish community and family in the Israel. Family is starting to get sick, stressed, and depressed about the situation in which influenced their daily routine. Casaloma is severely affected by what is currently happening to the family. She is worried about paying rent and other family expenses, including medication and maintenance of George and her. She could not focus looking after her child. She was left mostly playing alone, and the diaper was full of urine and stool. Water becomes lazy going to school and submitting a project late too. He started to smoke and live to her girlfriend. Casaloma thinks that Canada is not a country for them. She became more stressed and attempted suicide once. The family needs to adjust to their lifestyles, especially Water, who started smoking and tried to avoid influence of her girlfriend. Campus should seek healthcare support, which is available to their community. Casaloma needs to start treatment and rehabilitation to cope up stress and depression. Brown family genogram. The Brown family composed of 4 members, and there's another including family members which is from Israel, which is both parents of Casaloma and George, which is helping them to a financial need and emotional support. George is the father, 41 years old, employed, diabetic, and taking anti-diabetic medication. Casaloma, 36 years old, mother, unemployed, suffering from depression, taking antidepressant pills. George and Casaloma has 2 kids, which compose of Water and Campos. Water is the first child, 18 years old male, a student, and active in sport, and also a smoker. Campos is the youngest, which is 3 years old, daughter, diagnosed with autism, and started to go to daycare. The Brown family echo map. The family has a strong relationship with Casaloma and George's parents, which is from Israel. Rabbi and Jewish community, church and synagogue, healthcare support, which includes physician, OT, and PT, government support, and last one is OHIP insurance. There is also a weak relationship between Canada as their new home, monthly rent, school and university, daycare center, and there is also tense relationship of the family between George's work and Water's girlfriend, which she influenced Water to become more smoker. There are a few therapeutic questions that can answer the questions. First questions are, how might you demonstrate to the family? How might you demonstrate manners, to the family? First is expressing positive attitude towards the family and problems. Encouraging the family to participate in collective exercise. Helping to observe sugar levels. Encouraging participations in sports. Offering family to take guidance and counseling. What are the 5 therapeutic questions you would ask to engage the family? What brought you here today? How do you see your problems? How does your situation make you feel? What makes your situation better? Have you seen a counselor before? What are the psychosocial considerations that are important to examine to this family? Psychosocial conditions first. Stress, second. Autism is the third. And high blood pressure.
Commendations of family. The family should be commended on their strong relationship with Jewish community and family in Israel. Contributions of each family to cope up stress and being strong and resilience in taking responsibilities. Willingness to share family situations and be addressed. Family strength and courage to seek help. Identifying needs and illness. Script. First, I'm proudly convinced that the family health history is manageable. Mr. George Brown, having been found to be having diabetes mellitus type 1, should always stick to the medications, right diet, and regularly physical exercise to maintain his sugar levels. Additionally, the disease being hereditary should be a concern to the rest of the family members, especially children. Therefore, all of them should be screened for diabetes for early detection. Casaloma Brown should take her daughter to a physician for the right physiological and occupational therapy to be advised for use. Moreover, she should also desist from having too much worries about the family's financial situation. This is harmful to her health. Lastly, Walter Brown should continue engaging in basketball because it provides a good platform for him to remain healthy. What tools would you use to engage and support the family? Regularly tests blood sugar levels, eat healthy foods, and engage in regular exercise. Guiding and counseling sessions for George Brown. Autism support for Campus Brown. Sport, encouragement, and therapies to help Casaloma from effects of depression, stress, and stigma. Referral to government support community. What are your priorities for this family? Seek autism support for Campus Brown. Ensure diabetes medications, right diet, and regular exercise for Mr. Brown. Ensure that Walter Brown enrolls in a accountancy university of his dream. Guidance and counseling sessions for Mrs. Brown. What interventions would you implement at this time? Help Casaloma Brown employment to avoid the stress. Enroll Campus Brown to an autism class. Take him to a counseling sessions. Ensure that all family members engage in regular exercise, maintaining the proper diet. Screen all the family members for diabetes. Ensure that Walter Brown enrolls in an accountancy class of his dreams.
Hello everyone, my name is Camille and I will be discussing the family care plan for Brown family. The first nursing diagnosis is the inability to cope with stress related to financial constraints secondary to job loss and health of Mr. Brown. The goal of CARE is to identify coping mechanisms for family members and help them find out alternative ways of overcoming financial constraints. The interventions and rationale are: the first one is to assess families' knowledge about financial resources available for families and community services available for campus. This assessment provides a baseline to proceed with further planning. We also need to provide family information about financial support from the government, which can provide depending on needs of campus and families' financial situations. It will provide family enough information about sources to seek help and would reduce their stress. Next one is to educate family about OSAP, which is the Ontario Student Assistance Program, which can assist Water with his studies. OSAP can provide assistance in getting the education and training Water needs to build his career after high school. We also need to identify resources and provide support to assist the family with their concern. It can help the family in identifying resources and programs available in the community. And for the evaluation or outcome of CARE, the family exhibits sound knowledge about alternative means of financial help, and the goal was all met. For the second family health problem, the nursing diagnosis is deficient knowledge of family members related to diabetes. The goal of CARE is to identify the pre-existing knowledge of the family related to diabetes and help them gain sufficient knowledge regarding the condition. The interventions are: ask questions to Mr. Brown about his knowledge about diabetes, as it will provide baseline and enable the nurse to proceed further. Tell family about the symptoms of hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia. It will help them recognize the difference between the two so that they can help George. Tell the family that stress is another factor which can lead to diabetes symptoms because stress hormones increase blood sugar level. Knowing the relationship between stress and diabetes will reduce the environment of stress for George. Educate George about physical exercise, as exercise will reduce the chances of cardiovascular diseases. It will help George to reduce cardio complications arise due to diabetes. Educate family about dietary restrictions related to diabetes, which is low in sugar, low fat, high in fiber, and whole grains. Diet should be monitored and controlled when stabilizing a high blood glucose level. The evaluation of CARE, the family was able to demonstrate knowledge and feels more comfortable regarding diabetes management. All the goals were met. For the third family health problem, the subjective data is: Casaloma verbalized, "I feel so helpless, I couldn't do anything to help George with her problems." The nursing diagnosis is hopelessness related to depression. The goal of CARE is to identify the goals for Casaloma to cope up with her condition. Interventions are: assess patient's understanding of the situation, belief in self, and her own ability to manage her own condition. It is to provide a baseline in identifying the appropriate interventions for Casaloma. Encourage her to express her feelings, as active listening may assist Casaloma to express them better. Identify Casaloma's coping strategies and their effectiveness, as success in coping is determined by past experiences. Identify resources and support groups available in the community. Support groups can assist Casaloma with her concerns. And establish Casaloma's expectation for the future, as identifying expectations can assist Casaloma in achieving desired goal. The evaluation of CARE, the identified goals are met, and Casaloma was able to manage her depression. That concludes our presentation, and thank you all for watching and listening.